Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. We had a couple big pitcher trades. Fastball Freddy, Mackenzie Gore, and Cody Bellinger to my Yanks. Let's yuck some ball, people. Josiah Gray.
Rod Carew.
Oh. Just went with it the other way. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It is January 26th. Holy smokes, Coach. And it's almost time for the baseball season tweets because there's one more football game coming. Sorry, Coach. Sorry, Jake, as well. For those that know, I'm a Broncos fan. We're gonna unpack that a little bit at some point. We have some big baseball news. If these moves happened in late December, early January, we might have been a live reaction. I think you and Rosie still got one of these, but Freddy Peralta and his package, Mackenzie Gore and who he can be, along with Cody, and I don't. J-Ram just gets another extension and some cool perks and stuff. We'll see what else we got along the way. Coach, how we doing?
I'm a little bit tired today, so if I stumble over my words or maybe my brain's not working today, please excuse me. Obviously, tough game up there in Seattle for old Coach. And yeah, you too, you and Jack Davis. Sorry about your Broncos.
Yeah.
That was I thought there wasn't supposed to be weather in your game, then all of a sudden there's a blizzard out there. What happened there? But there's no better way to cure the blues than to yuck up some ball with you. And I always love how you say the word December.
Ooh,
December.
December.
What's up with that, dude?
If this trade happened in December, I don't know. There's something wrong with me. Yeah, big snow across the country. So I know, producer Rob right now is is like locked up. They had like 2 feet of snow. The city got just under a foot or so. You probably know how I measured. And I was excited. This was my first snowstorm, like really in the city. Biggest snowstorm since 2022. And yeah, I thought the snow day vibes would be a little more fun. I was like, this is a perfect storm, like massive snow day, the 2 championship games. And yeah, it was okay. Met up with a couple friends and stuff. But like when I thought the city should have been hitting peak like slop fest, everyone's gone soft, Coach. I don't know where I stand on it.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't like for the second half of the Seahawks-Rams game when you were getting rowdy, like the city was calling it a night. And I was just like, what are we doing, people? We got a big game on. So I don't know. It was a fine time. I had a fine time.
Okay.
And I think I hope you had a fine flight back. I think you did. But yeah, man. And the fact the Broncos lost on that stupid backward shovel pass, like that. Anyways, I'm not going to do that. Because we got the Mets. Man, there's been a lot of Mets this offseason. It was kind of
lately in December.
In December, it wasn't.
Started.
I guess we were talking about the Mets in a non-complimentary way. And we're going to unpack the Texas Rangers and maybe some AL West this episode. And I don't know. Usually when we talk about the Nats, it gets kind of dark quick. Let's do Fastball Freddy first. Freddy Peralta. And Tobias Myers, remember when he had like an amazing season? The Mets get both of them for 2 legitimate prospects. Jet Williams, my short king, and Brandon the Sproat Goat go over from the Mets to the Brew Crew. It's 1 year of Freddie. He's making $8 million, which if you remember earlier this offseason when me and John Boy got roasted, that price for what you're going to get from Freddie is incredible, and that probably upgraded the prospect package. A lot of moving parts here, Coach. We have the Mets continuing to make their moves of this offseason. We have the Brewers that, again, we're unfortunately too numb to this at this point, but this is how they operate, and I don't know. I can't really shame them because it's working. So I guess when this went down, where was your head at?
Well, we knew Freddie was going to get dealt somewhere. There's just no way that Milwaukee was going to hold on to him. That's not what they do. You mentioned this is how they operate. The thing that kind of caught my eye right away as well is what you talked about. Tobias Myers, just kind of like as a footnote in this trade, is crazy to me because this guy has absolutely electric stuff. Can can be either, in my opinion, end up being a high leverage bullpen guy, or he can be a starter for you. And like I think he has 4 years of control left, 5 years of control left. Like I think that's a very valuable piece for the Mets to acquire, and it was probably why they not just for Freddie. I mean, you get Tobias as well. That's I think why the prospects were who they were. And then for the Brewers, Jet Williams, Caleb Durbin, this is, I mean, is there a more Brewers guy
Yeah.
than a young guy who can run, play the outfield, play middle infield? Like they're going to figure out something for this guy. So that makes sense. And Brandon Sproat, he's got an electric arm as well. Like it makes sense for both of these teams to do this trade. I think the Mets did really, really well. They got their ace at the top of the rotation. And again, you can't overstate. I think I used that correctly. How important it is to bring Tobias into the fold, but um, I think if you're the Mets, you like what you did because you were also able to retain. Like McLean wasn't going anywhere, but I think a lot of teams were asking for Jonah Tong as well, and to be able to retain both of those guys and then get the guy that you wanted, I think is a win.
Yeah, and that's when you're coming into a season, you kind of want, yeah, ideally, you want 7 or 8 starting pitchers that you can look at going into the season because someone's going to get hurt. The one or two of those guys are usually prospects or something, and that's you kind of let the chips fall where they may. Which I used that phrase a couple times yesterday, and I've never. Is that
And
even
where
the
does that
right
come from?
phrase? It's got to be from gambling, right? But that's wouldn't be the cards, not the chips. I don't know.
Okay.
But you mentioned Jonah Tong, who yeah, like McLean wasn't being traded. I think Tong and Sproat was kind of the how are the Mets, holding on to three legitimate pitching prospects almost doesn't make sense to a degree when you're in whatever the Mets timeline currently is. Yeah, their rotation right now: Peralta, McLean, David Peterson, who we love, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, Kodai Senga, and that's with Jonah Tong as your 7 man. That if you're the Mets, you have to feel pretty good about where your starting pitching is heading going into the season. Obviously, whatever the baseball season throws at you, pitching can get thin pretty quick. But if you're the Mets, you have to be feeling pretty good about that and just a pretty good couple weeks for the New York Mets.
Yeah, where do we rate their offseason now? Because it was doom and gloom
Yeah.
not too long ago. Like there was pitchforks out there. And now the additions are Bo Bichette, Jorge Polanco, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Freddie Peralta, Luis Robert, Semien, and Tobias Myers. That's a
Yeah.
lot of turnover on that roster because those are all Major League Baseball players right there. This isn't like they're not trading for prospects; they're getting big league talent. Now you end up losing obviously Pete and Edwin Diaz, so two major parts of your team. You can talk about Kyler Rogers, Ryan Helsley, McNeil, Nimmo. It's a big roster turnover, and I think they're definitely better for it, right? I know Pete and Edwin is that's a big loss for them, but overall, I think parts in more than parts out.
Yeah, I guess, Pete versus Bichette is just a fun bar baseball conversation because you're comparing two very different righty hitters. And then, yeah, I guess I haven't fully processed the Mets offseason. I guess pitching wise, I like where they've landed. The offense slash defense, I guess I get a little confused because it's, they kind of came out and said, we want to focus on defense. And you look at Semien and Luis Robert and you're like, okay, like, yeah, I'm getting some elite defense with some potential offensive upside, also with a potential downside offensively. But then I just get a little confused in the corners where right now I'm looking at a mix of Beatty and Polanco and Vientos that, Bichette, like, is he going to be third base? Is he going to be DHing? That I'm the parts in are great. I guess I'm still intrigued to see how the final recipe looks.
You know what caught my eye about this trade as well is, the David Stearns Milwaukee background. It's like he understands how that organization
Yeah.
operates. Like I know all your proprietary, algorithms that you use and how you rank players and who you want. Like, I wonder how that how does that affect negotiations for prospects? Like, I'm very, very curious how all that went down. He knows people still in the front office, who he's dealing with, understands how they think. It's very curious to if he knew right away who they were going to ask for, then how he is supposed to combat that, because it is a little song and dance there. Um, but I thought about that right away too. Like dealing with your old team has to be interesting.
Yeah, you'd like to think it's easier, right? Like, we don't have to do a whole song and dance of like, oh, maybe we could trick him on this guy. It's like, no, I mean, Stearns kind of wrote the book there. Um, that yeah, it's kind of funny if the Brewers normally trade for a young pitcher like Sproat, I think we'd be sitting here like, watch out. Like, you might have almost that old Rays mindset that we haven't talked about in a long time. Like, oh, shoot, you're giving the Brewers a young, talented arm. Because remember, Tobias Myers was on the scrap heap, and then he gave them a full season as like a two starter, basically, that you wonder how they're going to tap in. But also, isn't that what the Mets are doing now? Like, so I don't know. I'm interested to see that part of it. Like you mentioned, Jet Williams, short king, which just hysterical that like the Brewers kind of hole in the market right now is like, we don't care if you're short as long as you're good at baseball, and the other teams are like, I don't know. It's like it's kind of working.
I'm all over. Give me the short guys. What do we need a tall guy in baseball for? What's the point of
It
that?
it's like the whole point of that you don't have to. Like, it's a nice to. Like, I like Judge. I like pitchers. There's usually a pretty good argument, although we got a couple short kings out there battling. Um, but yeah, it is the a Brewersy trade package for a Brewersy pitcher trading with the former GM of the Brewers.
Like a
So
little tiny strike zone up there is perfect.
imagine if that's part of their algorithm, that it's harder for pitchers to pitch. Um, hey, Dalton went ham with some Freddy Peralta stats, so I feel like I should rip them. And I should tell the people that they should go to SeatGeek. Because, wow, in the read, the World Baseball Classic right
Wow.
around the corner. And from what I've seen early on, you might want that SeatGeek promo. And yeah, there's only one more football game, folks, that you'd want the SeatGeek promo for that too. And they're the number one rated ticketing app, 35 million downloads. So go use code TALKIN2026, 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. TALKIN2026. Click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. All right, some Freddy Peralta stats for you. Freddy Peralta struck out 200 batters in 3 consecutive seasons. Only one other cat has done that, Dylan Cease. Interesting pairing there. Peralta has thrown a career high in innings pitched the last 3 consecutive seasons. Kind of love that. Although he has never thrown 180 plus innings in a season in his career. Led the NL in wins last year. Some interesting, Trev, I don't know if you want anything to do with this. Freddy Peralta had the most um, walks to 2, 3, and 4 hitters amongst qualified starting pitchers, which I kind of love that, man. Like, hey, I'm if there's a place to not mess around, don't mess around with those guys. And he also held right-handed batters to the lowest batting average last season. So, and he throws that fastball the most with second most with runners in scoring position. So I don't know, man. Mets fans, you should blindly love this. You got your opening day starter ? I guess unless McLean becomes like Captain America. But yeah, and the whole we said this before. The whole Mets rotation just feels better with everyone down one slot.
The little Blake Snell action right there, walking guys, because when opponents bat just 135 against you with runners in scoring position, maybe just like get rid of the guys that can take you deep.
Yeah, give me that 5-6 hitter.
Is Blake Snell a Hall of Famer?
Whoa, here we
What
go.
the
Chris
heck,
Rose.
dude?
Chris
If he wins
Rose.
another Cy Young, that's 3. And what are we gonna do?
Okay. Here's a good little side venture.
Gosh, dude. I
25
was
for the
thinking about that. I don't know. Someone put like a list out of like possible Hall of Famers, and Blake Snell was on. I was like, you know what? Like, if he wins another Cy Young, 3 is crazy.
3, you kind of have to, right?
I think so.
And Trev, you know
Automatic
what?
Hall of Fame.
I think you used to love this because it used to be Robbie Ray's claim to fame. He's got some gold on that page right now. 11.2 Ks per nine is like the best of any starting pitcher. So, yeah, it is funny looking at the body of work here that Sneller's, if he could get one more good full season in. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Are we Hall of Fame guys now?
I don't think so. I'm not.
No.
I'm not a percent. I'm not percentages, and I'm not Hall of Fame. Like I don't know who's gonna get in the Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
Hall of pretty good. How was Twins Fest, dude?
Well, Jake, it was a nice event, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Minneapolis right now. Hey,
Yeah.
let's stop shooting people.
Yeah.
Let's do that whole thing. A lot of people out in the streets, kind of making their voices heard. Still a good turnout for Twins Fest, and it was good to see. Twins Fest, you get to see all the people, like real true fans come and people that I've known for 20 years. So I get to say
Pretty
hi to
cool.
everybody, and I owe a lot to the people of Minneapolis. So it's nice to go out there and kind of put some smiles on people's faces.
Twins Fest, baby.
Yeah,
Shout out Dustin
yeah. I
Morse,
got my St.
always.
Paul hat on.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. Um, where I grew
You say
up,
shout out
STP.
Dustin Morse?
Yeah, our
What about
guy.
Mike Herman
What about Mike Urban?
and Bert Blyleven? I sent you guys the pic.
Easy with Bert. Bert's a sensitive topic for me.
We had
Uh,
some good time. You get around the old guys, which is, the Twins do a great job bringing alumni back. So, Kent Herbeck's there, Tim Laudner, Roy Smalley, who, by the way, is just the man. Then
mm,
you got Rod Carew, you got Tony Oliva, and it's just funny to hear these guys talk about the game because it's obviously changed a ton.
yeah.
Um, I try to be the conduit between both eras, and it's getting harder. It's
Ah.
getting harder and harder for me to do it to convince these guys.
We might have to do like an Olds Day one day. Man, I saw my guy David Cohn. He posted on Instagram. Who was it? Um, oh, Bobby Shantz. There's Trev and Bert. Classic bunny ears. Doesn't
You
get better than
just
that.
I think he nut tapped me right before that too. Like that's Bert Blyleven in a nutshell.
That's Bert. David Cohn posted 100-year-old Bobby Shantz on his Insta story, and just the best old man reaction you could find. He's like he's like, oh, who's this young man? Anyways, speaking of young men, Mackenzie Gore, one of the other starting pitchers that was rumored to be on the trade market, was on the trade market. Interesting prospect package if you're keeping track at home. 2 years of Mackenzie Gore, which is always one of the important details of these transactions. Mackenzie Gore goes from the Nats to your Texas Rangers because, of course, they needed pitching for 5 prospects. Gavin Fine, I think he was like the 12th pick in the draft. And then Fitzgerald, Rosario, Cabrera, Ortiz. It was funny listening to some people talk about the prospect package. They're like, Fitzgerald's a quick riser. People really like him. It's like, okay, we'll find out. Gore joins Texas. His baseball page is a little more, I guess, wild than I remembered, Coach Trev, because I remember him as a top prospect. I remember that washing off a little bit. And then I remember him being solid. And then you remember him breaking out last year, but the year-end numbers don't look that way because the wheels fell off. But I mean, as far as talented lefty arms go, I mean, that first 19 starts, first half of the season was electric.
Yeah, there were a couple starts there where he looked like he had figured something out. A lot of swing and miss. A beautiful windup, beautiful, pitch mix that he does have. But yes, the second half of the season was not good for him. And I think he slots in here to a really nice rotation. You get DeGrom, Eovaldi, dogs, and then probably Gore slotting into that third slot. And then at the end, you have Jack Leiter, who can be an absolute stud. And then they're kind of figuring out that fifth spot, whether it's Jacob Latz, is Kumar Rocker going to get a shot to be the fifth guy there because he can be a stud too. Like there's a lot of potential in that starting rotation. And I posed the question to you. I was like, who are the Rangers? Like, what's up with that? Like what's going on there? 81 and 81 last year. I said the starting rotation has a chance to be pretty damn good. Bullpen, I think they're still trying to figure that out. When aren't the Rangers figuring out a bullpen? That's fine. I don't mind that for them. And then we heard a little like Joel Sherman tweet about
Mm,
their middle infield last year, which was so strange to me. I don't know if we want to bring it up because are we just like gossiping? But there was a Marcus Semien, Corey Seager situation going on. Obviously, Marcus Semien's out and
right.
Corey Seager's still there. I thought that's something to note, right? Like
Well, dude,
81,
was it
81 season, and there was some weird stuff going on. We always talk about like the Mets clubhouse issues. If there's something that arises here, I feel like it's fair game to talk about.
wasn't there another Texas Rangers clubhouse story? Was it Kevin Pillar who went there for a little bit and he's just like the clubhouse is whack.
He
Um,
did say that. He said
right?
like
So
not focused on winning.
something was clearly up, and yeah, I don't, again, it's tough to know where to point the finger, but I think, I guess in a way I'm happy. I'm happy. Um, sometimes we talk about stuff that's not stats or not baseball and you wonder if it matters, but man, something I think about more and more every time is how much time these dudes spend together. If you're with people you don't like, bro, that it's like an awful lifestyle. I know people don't want to hear that because of the dollar amounts, and I get that. But like, if you have to spend 6 months every other week on the road with people you don't like, dude, that's brutal.
Well, imagine you hate somebody, then you just have to get naked in front of them all the time. Like you're like so vulnerable everywhere in the clubhouse. Like you have your chairs face each other.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you're in this room together. You can avoid people. If you really want to, you can avoid people, but it's hard. Like
right,
you're still eating in the same little room. You're still going into the same training room. Like I said, you got showers. They're
right.
communal. It ain't stalls. Like you're just
That's
in there.
pretty wild. I like that's just accepted. Again, like I don't mind. Kind of free spirit over here.
It's
Got into some
awesome.
yoga
It's
got into
awesome,
some
Jake.
yoga this weekend. Yeah, it's team bonding. It's just funny that like in theory, this is where you work. If there was an accounting firm where it was like, "Hey, we all shower together," everyone would be like, "Whoa!" So it's just because you're
Not
athletes, you
everyone.
get to shower together.
Would not everyone, you'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're
You
trying to
love it. That's so it actually sounds I understand how strange that sounds to say,
right.
but it's like one of the best things we got going. It's I don't
It
know. It is there is something about like you're just there you are. Ain't
right.
no hiding in the shower.
It's a freeing feeling, you know?
I mean, a shower beer with the boys after a victory is like
Oh,
unmatched. And look, yeah, it is funny to say that out loud, but it's true. What am I supposed to do? Lie to you guys? I will never do that.
I just think it is very funny that A is just a big communal shower room, which feels a little dated at this point, but everyone, again, end of the day, if you're like bopping with the boys, that's kind of a good time. Um, and yeah, I also just think there is a little bit of irony that if any other non-athlete profession did that, you'd be like, "Whoa, all the chefs got together before the
The
shift and
chefs.
showered?" I don't know. I think maybe we just need to rebrand it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm working on it.
All right.
Um,
Let's get
so
back
yeah,
to the Rangers. The infield's
fine.
interesting me because you obviously have Corey Seager, who's a stud. Then around him, some guys that like kind of like need to kind of figure it out at the big league level. I would say, like what's Jake Berger going to give you at first base? What's Josh Young going to give you at third base? Like, there's definitely potential there for some offense. Um, Josh Smith has been pretty damn good. He's at second base, and you kind of have like I think that's a pretty good infield right there if things all go correctly and right and everyone's healthy and makes some strides at the plate. That's good. Outfield's like some young guys who you feel like can be pretty good. Nimmo's going to be out there in right field. Is Evan Carter, your center fielder, is Wyatt Langford your center fielder. Like those guys are obviously in the mix, and deciding where they're going to be is going to be interesting. But overall, you look at the roster, and you're like, okay, like know the names. These guys, most of them have had big league success at some point. It's can everyone kind of get it going in the same year. And like there's a chance that they can. I mentioned 81 and 81 last year. If you bump that up by 5 games, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because the corner outfield, if it's Nimmo and Langford, I'd have to go around the league, but that feels like as stable as a corner outfield as you can kind of put together. Evan Carter, when he played last year, contributed, and he's still 23. And Corey Seager remains one of the best players in baseball that kind of gets overlooked just to, I don't know, I just think his injury missing time, but like had 6 WAR in about 100 games last year. That if he can play 140, you'd like to think Jock, it's not done. Like he just had a bad year of baseball itis, but you never know. That you look around the field and it's part of the problem with the Texas Rangers. They finished 81 and 81. That yeah, you start spinning the clubhouse stuff in almost an optimistic way for this season. Like if that was part of the problem in a bad case of the don't hits, like this lineup should hit more than they did last year.
87 games got you into the playoffs last year, so they'd have to improve by 6.
Yeah, and it's almost, I don't know, maybe this is just weird baseball brain, but it feels like the offense should tick up. It feels like it should be tough for that rotation to be like number one starting pitching ERA last year.
Yeah, and their relief pitching numbers are great too.
They're great. Like the names don't jump off the screen, but they performed last year, and maybe the Texas Rangers deserve a little more credit for just their, when you think of pitching teams in baseball, you don't jump to Texas, but maybe they are, man. Although Evaldi and DeGrom at the top probably deserve a lot more love. Nate Dogg, 22 starts last year, a 173.
I've been telling people about this guy.
He's a sick puppy, huh? And yeah, you gotta love Jack Leiter's potential and what he showed in his first full season. So, that AL West, man, it's fun. Like the Mariners obviously have established themselves now. The Astros still have a lot of talent. The Athletics aren't an easy out. The Angels had one of the most Angels off seasons you've ever seen. The
Dude,
names they brought in.
These Texas Rangers relievers, I mean, yeah, Sean Armstrong last year to a 2.31 in 74 innings. Hobie Milner, kind of doing his role out there. Love me some Hobie Milner. Then you have Jacob Webb, Robert Garcia, Chris Martin at 39, still slaying in that pill. We mentioned Latz kind of being in and out of the rotation. Okay. All right. Go get it, Rangers.
Remember,
Actually, had to ask me anything, which is like, that's your thing, but I did it on the plane the other day. And someone asked me who's going to win the West. Like, I said, why not the Rangers?
Talent-wise, it shouldn't be surprising.
People are like, because the Mariners exist. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Mariners are pretty good. That Robert Garcia trade, man, that was easy for us to be like, you traded Nathaniel Lowe, potential all-star first baseman, and look where that landed. Chris Young, smart former baseball players in front offices. I want that petition to go on. Stanford men. Let's see. I think we got to talk some Cody Bellinger. I guess maybe we should talk a little Nationals too. And it's brought to you by Factor. If you want to eat better, but you have zero time, zero energy to make it happen, Factor doesn't ask you to meal prep or follow recipes. Just removes the entire problem. 2 minutes, real food, done. You're not failing at eating. You're failing at having 3 extra hours. The shopping, the cooking. If you don't have it, Factor has meals made by chefs, designed by dietitians, delivered right to your door. So whatever your goals or schedule require from you, calorie management, more protein, Factor has you covered. It's been a huge part of our office. Head to factormeals.com/talkin50off. Use code talkin50off to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easier with Factor. Dude, actually, I kind of need to rewind. We got caught up in the showers and stuff. We didn't talk too much about Gore. Like, where are you at with him as a player? Because it felt like the breakout happened. You look at the end of year stats, and clearly the wheels fell off. And then if you look at his career numbers, like he's technically been like a slightly below average pitcher, but some of that goes back to him being, a young pup with the Padres and Nats figuring it out.
when you show like flashes like he did in the beginning of the season, you know what's in there. So then it's up to the
Yeah.
organization, tinker with the pitch mix, decide like a plan of attack for him. So the Rangers are going to have to do that and see if they can get the best version of him. But I think they're just banking on we got some years of control. This guy's in his prime right now. His age 27 season. And like I said, he has the arm talent. So let's all these organizations think they're the smartest. Maybe not all of them think that, but most of them think
Yeah.
that they are. There's some that are like, we know we got some work to do. Um, I think that's what it is. You bank on your player development, your pitching factory, whatever you're trying to do, and then you say we're going to make this guy the best version of himself. And if they can do that, they're getting a near like ace type of guy, like we saw in the beginning of the last season.
Yeah. The
You're
talent,
jumping at the potential.
the eye test pass, and again, when you look at the splits from last year, I don't know if it was injury or if he just ran out of. I mean, he went on the IL at the end of August due to shoulder inflammation, which I mean, that's just like tired, right? His first 19 starts, 110 innings, a 3.02 ERA, more strikeouts than innings pitched by like a lot. Like, yeah, there's not a lot of guys that have that ability in there. So if you're Texas, you hope he kind of got built up last year and you can ride that out for 2 years. On the national side, and this is kind of what we did, and we giggled about it through the year because we wanted to be excited for the Nats last year. And when you actually looked at the roster, you're like, damn, there's some holes, and they're rebuilding again when they were just rebuilding. So that stinks if you're a Nats fan. Um, and yeah, I thought it was interesting. Their new GM supposedly came over from Boston, and they really wanted Fine, the headliner, in the draft, and he got taken a couple picks before. So this guy left Boston, goes to the Nats, and his first move is like, "Give me that guy." So that's some video game stuff right there, man. Like I want him.
Jake, this is shaping up to be like a movie, and I don't know what kind of movie, like a buddy movie, like Matt Damon and Ben Stiller or something. That's not who it
Okay,
is.
they're out.
Ben
Yeah, they're
Affleck.
old. Ben-
I just watched that movie on Netflix. It was okay. Um,
oh,
the new president of baseball ops is Paul Taboni. He's running the show. He's 35. The new general
crazy name.
manager, Annie Kilambi, is 31. Their manager, Butera, is how old? 28 or something?
Jeez,
Like, what are
dude.
we doing here? Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, what?
Yeah,
That's
I don't know,
awfully
man.
young. And you know what? I'll say this: my team, whose house, Rams house,
Oh,
Sean McVay came over at 30 years old, and a lot
yeah.
of people laughed at them, but he's obviously turned himself into one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NFL. Maybe we're seeing that here. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
That's really
when
young, Jake. That's
with
really young.
that's a young collection. You'd love to be like, "Oh yeah, they brought in the Wonderkin," and then it's also, there's some old head Dombrowski's doing his retirement gig like guiding or something. He still runs the Phillies, so bad example, but yeah, and hey man, for every Sean McVay, do people remember when Lane Kiffin was the Raiders coach and like how much of a disaster that was? So Josh McDaniels when he was the one. Maybe the Raiders are the problem in hindsight. Um,
Can I give you
but
a quote?
please,
This is the most like I just took over an organization quote ever. I'm stepping into this role with a clear vision. That vision is to be the highest performing organization in all of sports. I want to help build
nice.
something that becomes the envy of all of sports. That's a direct quote.
That's not currently where the Nats are at. Um, I think something to watch during the
Oh,
season
he's a Notre
is
Dame guy.
the Golden Domers. Um,
Yeah. February 8th is his birthday. We're doing a deep dive on Paul Taboni right now.
I'll be honest, the name Taboni cracks me up.
Okay.
CJ Abrams, they were reportedly shopping him in the offseason. So that's someone, if your team's looking for an upgrade during the season or maybe coming up, that could be on the table. He's still 25. Um, And yeah, man, that whole roster is young. The whole rotation. I mean, Mackenzie Gore was kind of the guy that stood out. That it might be a tough one in the nation's capital. And the other thing I can't wrap my head around, I used to be pretty harsh on the grab as many prospects as you can trade packages, but also I don't know, like maybe you should just give yourself the most lottery tickets because baseball, we still have no clue, man. Like the top 5 prospects, yes, those guys have been clicking at a decent rate, but also you just don't know.
Yeah, I saw there was a chart someone did. He went like all the way back into the whenever the top 100 prospect lists have started, whenever that was. So I'm assuming 90s or something like that. And he's like, if you get a consensus, top 100 player, like the chances of them becoming like regular big leaguers to all star to MVP like level, like that grouping of type of player is astronomically better than if they're not. So like
Right.
I mean, which makes sense, obviously, but you're right. Like, there is levels in that. There is the regular big leaguer who's going to be a guy who's going to contribute, it's going to be decent, and then there's the all stars, then there's the MVPs, and obviously they get less and less. But I see what you're saying. I think I'd rather go still consensus top than a bunch of lottery tickets, and I don't, and I think it is changing where teams again they just think they're smarter than everybody else and they have the
Yeah.
data and this guy's swing plane works for what we're trying to do and it's like okay well we'll see.
Yeah, and it's just baseball's in a. I think Rosario, the pitcher, like I think he throws 100, but he had TJ already, and it's just. I think baseball doesn't know what to do with those guys. It's like that. I don't know. We'll find out in the next handful of years in the nation's capital, trying to be the best. I guess the goal should be to be the best franchise, but I don't. That's not what they've been. That's not what they've been giving. Um, and yeah, wow, Texas Rangers. I think the hype train might have started for us. Um, okay, let's go to my guy Belly. Wow, how about 5 years, $162 million, being 40 minutes or so into the episode. Cody comes back to the Yankees. The Yankees traded with the Cubbies last year to bring him in, basically just to pay him. Cody had a really strong 23. He kind of faded a little bit in 24, putting together a really nice season with the Yankees. Watching him play every day was a treat. He's a 5-tool player. He can play every outfield spot. It did get to a weird spot in the media that the Yankees were being public and Boris was being public. The 155 number had been thrown out for a little bit. Boris was talking 10 years. As a Yankee fan, I like the deal. Full no trade clause. Cody has opt outs after year 2 and 3, so if he puts up another big boy season, he could go. And yeah, man, what the Yankees get criticized for, like not playing baseball. Cody Bellinger, everything happens, comma after Judge. He's their best all around baseball player.
Yes, and I was thinking about this like is it the best outfield in baseball if
It's
if
been the
Trent
past
Grisham
couple
is hitting
years.
30 homers for
Yeah.
you and obviously Aaron Judge is like 5 players in one and then Cody doing his thing out there in left field like I think there's is who else is there? I mean, is there like the Chicago Cubs? I guess maybe not. I don't
Cubbies,
know.
it feels like the Dodgers always pop up. If Julio can get some help, yeah, position unit draft is coming up. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to side track us a little bit. I was just thinking that. I was
you're
like,
good.
it's gotta be the best outfield in baseball. Just, I mean, Aaron
Tatis,
Judge makes it that way.
Merrill, and but yeah,
Okay, all right. Tatis posted an incredible Instagram post the other day. He was basically naked in every single picture.
really,
Yeah,
is
he's
this
like
a
climbing
story or a
mountains,
post?
scuba diving. He's like, thirst trap after thirst trap. It was like Dalton Feely on IG. It was crazy.
Feels
He
like
went straight to
Fernando.
it. He went
Feels
straight
like,
to it.
oh yeah. I mean, oh Rob, get that on the screen. Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
dude.
telling you, dude. That's not even the worst one.
Hey, I got to be honest. I guess there was a time when I showed a lot more skin on the gram. Maybe I'll get back in the game. If I looked like Tatis, yeah, I wouldn't.
There, that's
Okay,
that. There it
okay.
is.
I mean, that's not safe for work.
I think I was perusing IG in my suite yesterday up in Lumen Field, and I was like, "I gotta put this away. People might be
Yeah,
seeing what I'm looking at."
it's Olivia. Don't look over here. Okay. Um, I guess, Coach. Again, if you have no idea, we do a show Talking Yanks where we talked about this a lot, and things you should know about Belly. Are the best left-handed hitter versus lefties last year. Him and Schwarber did some amazing stats. He battles and at bats. That's really fun. He's like he changes his approach. He fouls off pitches in 2-strike accounts. It's honestly refreshing. But it brings the Yankees back to kind of where they were last year. Like the Yankees still haven't really added someone from outside of the org. And I guess this is where the Yankee fandom comes in. Like the Yankees never felt like a threat to win the World Series last year. And as Aaron Judge turns 34, Cole is coming back at some point this year,
Mhm.
turning 35. So that can feel different. But, the Yanks offense has not changed. And how much of that was Judge? Can Trent Grisham run it back? Like, I don't know. I guess I clearly have questions.
I think I do too, but then again, you look at the overall numbers, and yeah, Judge is a stud, but take Judge out of the equation, they still had a pretty deep lineup last year. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a lot. Can some of these guys run it back? The track records aren't exactly all there for them, but they showed they can do it at the big league level. I think second half Yankees, when you get Rodon and Cole in there, we'll see what they look like. I'm banking on these guys, man. You're gonna have a hell of a rotation. Those guys come back. You got Freed, uh, Cole, Rodon, Schlittler looks nasty, and then the back end, like you have a bunch of different options there. So it's like, to me, second half Yankees are a problem. Like Judge is going to be Judge. There's no doubt. Like he's going to be that guy. So you have that
Yeah.
starting point already. And again, like it just seems to me like I get what you're saying too. And sometimes I think that way about the Yankees. Like, are they that good? But like they are. So I think you might be a little too close to the situation, Pat. Because I'm thinking
Yeah.
second half Yankees are going to be a problem.
Yeah. I guess something. I mean, hey, the Blue Jays were great last year. That I guess in a way there shouldn't be shame in that, but in a way there should be shame in that. Um, the bottom of the lineup offensively looks like it could get a little thin. I guess, again, this is being on the Yankee standard and not being able to fully project injuries or performance. Spencer Strider wasn't great last year, his coming off Tommy John year. It'll be interesting to see what version of Garrett Cole does come back. But if Schlittler's that guy, again, the Yankees usually roll a good team out there, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you saw, but Rizzo gave the Judge's intro speech at the Baseball Writers of America to give him his uh, MVP trophy, and it was real. Like we talked about it a lot on Talking Yanks when Rizzo came over. I think the comparison, I think the comparison I used was Rizzo. Whenever he was on a baseball team, he was the best player, or kind of like had an argument to be the best player. And when he joined the Yankees and saw Judge, I think it was the first time that he was like, "Holy smokes! Like, what is this?" And they just get along. Like they're genuinely friends. Like their dogs have play dates. Their wives hang out. Um, I mean, I think Rizzo called him, the best player to ever put on the pinstripes. Which, okay, we can save that for Chris Rose another time. But also, he's 34. He doesn't have a ring. Been to one World Series. Like that conversation is only going to get louder, and I'm not excited for it.
Shout out Max Freed for his season last year. Okay,
Max
bud.
Fried, dude, that guy.
He is like the humble king. Just doesn't even know how good looking he is. Like one of those guys.
Like, there's a chance he's the devil.
Oh, what?
Like,
He's an angel. He's literally an angel.
exactly. Exactly. Like he's
Oh,
he's the handsome lefty. He's unassuming, but I don't know, man. Like it's almost too good.
I watched the movie Sinners. You watched that yet?
Sure have.
And I liked it. People were telling me that's kind of weird. I liked it a lot.
I liked it.
And it wasn't as
Sinner.
people need to relax on like Josh Allen. That wasn't even that bad of a scene.
Okay, Sinner spoilers incoming.
No, everyone knows.
Well, yeah, the spit in the mouth scene, kind of iconic from the movie, and just where our society's at. Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought that Hollywood is just one big orgy. That like I don't know, people are making out and pretending to bang in movies. Anyways, I got off the track. Sinners, I thought it was great. I like that they didn't take the ending too seriously. And yeah, the different notes and things they touched on. I guess it got nominated for like the most Oscars or something like that ever, and it didn't feel that way watching it originally, but I very much enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot. The ending had a little Django Unchained, which is an amazing movie.
Top 3 movie for me.
So
Easy.
when Jamie Foxx comes out in the all blue outfit in that
Oh.
movie, it's just the best.
Dude, Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz. It could be my favorite movie. I went through a phase I was watching that like once a month, which that's
Shout out Broomhilda.
Broomhilda. Jonah Hill when they're wearing the masks, dude. That is so funny. To have that in that movie. I love it.
And that's Yankee talk.
Cody Bellinger's a Yankee. Yeah.
Sweet angel. Don't ever call him the devil again.
He's so angelic that he might be the devil, you know?
No, I don't know. You want to call Jack Flaherty that? Fine. He's got a little bit of that in him.
Snaps for Jack Flaherty. Him and PCA got the numbers retired at Harvard Westlake over the weekend.
Whack ass school. Seahouse. Go Celts. I actually texted Jack. I said, "That's cool. You got your jersey retired, but you never would have beat my teams. Like 03, 04 Celts trump you."
I love that for you. Yeah, I guess final Yankee notes. Yankee fans kind of want them to do one more move. Like right now, Jason Dominguez kind of doesn't have a spot. But usually, Stanton's at DH. He usually has some IL time. It'll be interesting. They've got 2 legitimate, Dominguez showed a lot as a rookie. And then if they do have depth at pitching come mid-season, can they trade from that? What's everything looking like? What's that AL East looking like, man? Because Jays are here, Red Sox are here, Orioles should be back. Sneaky AL and Mets episode today. How about that? And some Sinners, of course. You got anything else, Coach Trev?
No.
Yeah. God.
Should have been Broncos Rose right now.
Should have been Broncos Rams. We should have been going to the game.
We could have been. And then they went to Napa right after.
Oh. No. I've never seen a redwood.
Oh my gosh, you would love it.
I know.
You would love a redwood.
Yeah, dude. When's a good Napa season?
Like pretty much any time. October, I think, is like when they do like the harvest and stuff. I'd try to do that. Tough for us, huh?
A little tough for me, yeah.
Anytime, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I really
always a good time to go to Napa.
Okay.
I'll hook you up. I got connections up there.
For that and other life advice, tune in to Trevor Plouffe. Myself, shout out to Rob Scirocco, producing from home in a snowstorm. Kids locked in the house. Dalton Feely and his Tatis thirst trap setting up the sheet for us. We will be back Wednesday. We'll see what we got going on, or if the baseball world provides us with some new news. Jose Ramirez, just awesome. Just awesome.
Jake sucks. Hey, we didn't really talk about Jose Ramirez. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Get your paper, baby.
What's in his basement again?
I feel like he's like into collectibles, maybe
the biggest clothing collection you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's a good